Well, I think one, you can talk about the consistency of Michigan State. Since Mark Dantonio arrived on Michigan State's doorstep, one, he's maximized talent, and he's continued now to entice more talent to commit to Michigan State, because these young men know that Mark Dantonio is committed to them. He doesn't recruit stars, they recruit the person. And these young guys, one, we just talked about a couple of players that return to Michigan State. When you look at Connor Cook and Shalik Calhoun, that's been the history of players. There's been very rarely that juniors declare on Mark Dantonio's past, because they know they are going to grow. They're going to get the straight story from Mark Dantonio in order to prepare themselves not only for football and their opportunities in the NFL, but I think for the game of life. You know, these players know that Mark Dantonio is sincere and he's committed to them.
Exceeding expectations. You know, I mean, these are guys who are 2-, 3-star recruits, not 4- and 5-star recruits. Come in, they're well coached, they're tough. They know what it takes to work and prepare and do all the right things. And if you look at the track record, it's pretty amazing. Coach Dantonio's done a remarkable job, because they don't get those big high school recruits, the 5 stars, as I said, but the track record in terms of draft picks, and then also guys who pan out in the league, is as high as you can get in terms of a percentage when you start comparing Michigan State to some other schools across the country.
I think what you see with him is their evaluation is better than probably a lot of other people's evaluations, you know, and sometimes you hear people go, that guy's Darqueze Dennard is probably the best example. He was just a completely unheralded recruit who blossomed into the best, cornerback in college football, and at the end of his career. But there's other guys. Shalik Calhoun wasn't a big recruit. Granted, they've had a couple of 5 stars in the mix too. There's different parts of it, but I go back, Connor Cook, 3-star guy from Ohio. There's probably a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I know there is. Guys who are like, well, these other schools didn't want me. Michigan's over here. I'm curious to see that dynamic now, because everybody's talking about, including myself, how interesting it's going to be with the Big Ten, because you had Urban Meyer has taken Ohio State back to the top of college football. Here comes Jim Harbaugh with a great track record. So everybody's excited about this. Well, it's not like Mark Dantonio retired and is golfing. I mean, he's still there. And he's still there, and he's got the best defensive player in the conference, or maybe one of the best defensive players in the country, and he's got one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the country. Those are big building blocks to have. So, that division, it should be as good as about as good as anything.
But in terms of how Michigan State is perceived, I think, again, he's put Michigan State back on the national map. They get better every single year. They're better as a football team. They're more consistent. They know they can compete with anybody, with any team in the nation, because they've got the confidence now in the backing of their coach and the right teaching and how he's bringing them all along in terms of the coaching of Mark Dantonio's style. So I think there's better things to come, and a lot of it is due to Mark Dantonio's success, his commitment, and how great of a coach that he is.